Hi everyone, this is Beth. In the course introduction, you began to use the technology that will be used in this course, and you practiced the team-based learning readiness assurance process, the IRAT and the TRAT, and you became familiar with course expectations. The purpose of this presentation is to highlight the takeaways from the foundation unit and to re-emphasize the important course operational information before we move on to our next unit on student learning. The focus of the foundation unit was on alignment. The IRAT, TRAT, and the team application exercises involved working with EDMC and your ED system goals. The IRAT and the TRAT also focused on the SWOT planning process, and you began to identify the types of information that you will want to gather related to your program. You also began to add to your personal learning template as you reflected on the OAD and on your own learning throughout the unit. Let's first talk about alignment. In this unit, we built on the work you did in the course introduction. Remember the scavenger hunt activity? This time you were matching your system's academic goals to EDMC goals and the supporting strategies in the IRAT. Then in the team application exercise, you were looking at how a program goal related to student learning and faculty development would best align with a hypothetical college goal, an ED system goal, and with EDMC. This is what you will want to do when at the end of the course you develop your program goal. What you discovered is that the student learning and faculty development goal, as it was stated in the team activity, was a little too broad, and it caused difficulty in seeing the alignment. But hopefully through that activity you started to make the connection between, thinking about what what you're going to focus on in your program and being sure that it aligns with or supports what your college is working on, and you see even the broader picture in terms of what your ed system is working on, and then even broader what EDMC is focusing on. There are two major assessments in this course, or I call them performance assessment tasks, or PATs. One is called the Program Efficiency and Effectiveness PAT. You will find that information in detail in the back of your syllabus and also in the online course. So in each unit, we'll actually be working on part of this process. And so let me just talk about the purpose. The purpose of the SWOT that you will do for this course is on improving program efficiency and effectiveness related to student learning and faculty development. By the end of the course, you will have this template filled out, and you will be able to design a SMART goal for your program related to student learning and faculty development that aligns with the work of your college, your ed system, and EDMC. In this unit, we focused on primarily on defining the SWOT process and examining various types of data that could be included. And more will come in the next two units. I've been asked to provide a SWOT example, and here you can see that on the slide an example of a department that was determining whether to start a new laser technology program. So after they collected and reviewed internal and external data, they identified these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And that's what you're going to do. As we talk about the student learning unit, we'll talk about data that you'll want to gather. As we talk about faculty development, we'll talk about data you want to gather. And then from that data, you're going to come up with what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are opportunities, and what are threats related to um, faculty development and student learning, and how can I improve in that area. In this particular example, their next step is to analyze the information that they've identified in this 4x4 matrix and determine the feasibility of offering the laser technology program, and if so, how they might proceed. So now let's look at the final aspect of the foundations unit. Okay, we talked about alignment, we talked about SWOT. Now let's talk about this personal learning template and what you've been doing in this aspect of the unit. Okay, the other major assessment for the class is the Personal Strengths and Learning Performance Assessment Task, or PAT. This is posted in your syllabus like as the other one is, or in the online course. And you will be, again, doing work related to this PAT in each unit. In the Foundations unit, we focused on the OAD. And in the orange box in the template, you will want to record a summary of the strength that you identified and how you plan to leverage that strength in your role as program manager. You were also asked to identify at the end of the unit, reflect on what you've learned and what kind of your next steps in learning in this particular area might be. Now, in the course, you are asked to share your reflections with your team and then have a conversation and then add to your personal development plan. And again, at the end of the course, you'll want to turn in this template. I'm not going to collect it each time, but hopefully this process will put you in a really good position to develop a really strong professional development SMART goal, which you will add to this template and turn it in at the end of the course. The units are designed to provide some flexibility around weekly timelines. And we're going to look in just a minute and we'll review again about how a typical unit will flow. But first I wanted to say a little bit about the teams and how they should be conducting their discussions, because that's a big part of the course. And in order to flow, we need to figure out how to work that into your life so that it does flow for you. And the intent really was for the teams to conduct their discussions asynchronously, because you're all busy, you're in different parts of the country, and it's not always possible for you to get together at a specific time. So that team discussion area was designed to facilitate those asynchronous conversations that you would have in the different units. Some teams, though, have chosen to meet synchronously, but I just want to make it clear that that's not a requirement. You may find, though, it's faster to just try to find a time when you can all get together and talk and get the work done. And it may be faster. There is a chat feature in the eCompanion course. You might want to try that. And if you are interested, uh, I have set up an area in Google Plus if you want to try that. And what's neat about Google Plus is that you have voice, video, chat, whiteboard, sharing documents. You have a lot of functionality, and you can do that from home without a cost in terms of telephone cost. So those are just some ideas for you. But again, I just wanted to emphasize in terms of figuring out the flow, it was my intent with the course that the team work and conversations could take place asynchronously, and but you do need to keep in the timelines in mind. So let's take a look at how the week should flow. Week one is when you start to get connected with the content. It might involve reading, viewing videotapes, and then by Wednesday, by midnight Wednesday, that's when you want to take the IRAT. And it really is all about the learning. So my intent was not to make the IRAT a requirement in terms of racking up a grade and that kind of thing. But after this unit, I am going to ask that you actually take the IRAT. Thursday and Friday, it will be when you come to team consensus on the IRAT answers, and then by midnight on Friday, someone from your team takes the TRAT. Again, you're working with the content. And if there is a WebEx, that will be identified in the schedule, and then the IRAT and TRAT results will be available on Saturday. For this next unit, my goal is to open the unit on April 1st, even though the unit does not start until April 8th. Week 2 again begins on Sunday, and the focus in the beginning of the week, or actually the focus of week 2 is on around a team problem related to the content. So again, now you're taking the content that you've been reading about and talking about and taking the quiz about, and you're applying it to a problem that you will solve. And by midnight, you need to post that team answer, and then on Thursday and Friday, midnight on Wednesday, and then on Thursday and Friday, what I want you to do is to review the answers from the other teams. And so then you get a little broader perspective, and then vote on what you think is the best response. There'll typically be a WebEx during that second week, and so you want to throughout the week be working on participating in discussions, because each for each unit there is a personal learning, a personal strength area to focus on typically, and then to reflect on what you've learned. Now in this next unit uh, on student learning, what I'm going to ask you to do is to give each other feedback on your participation in the team. And so you'll get a chance to get some feedback from the people that you're working with on your team on how you're doing, how your contributions are contributing to the team. I've built in an extension week to each unit. So, on week 1 and week 2, there's specific things that you're doing and some timelines to pay attention to. In week 3, that's when you can finish up your discussions. So that's where if you want to take that time during week 3 um, to add to your personal learning template regarding whatever the focus was for the week, and to wrap up what did I learn in this unit and what do I plan to do next. Those would be good things to do during week number 3. The one thing that I want to emphasize is that the course was designed so that you complete one unit before proceeding to the next. And so we're at kind of a critical point here. Uh, and because this is kind of a new flow and getting into the swing of things takes a little bit of time, as well as using the technology, what I built in is just some extra flexibility in the course introduction and first unit. And so you will really have until April 7th to complete the required assignments and activities from the course introduction and from the foundations unit. Uh, Before we proceed with the student learning unit, but you do need to complete those if you're interested in continuing to move on. So let's look at what that involves. Let's look at the minimal must-dos. Of course, my expectation is that you've participated in all of the activities in the course introduction and in the foundations unit. But minimally, this is what you need to do in order to keep going in the course. The course introduction, you need to at least have introduced yourself and you've responded to other people in that discussion area in the course introductions. And in the course introduction area, you need to complete the scavenger hunt activity. In the foundations unit, the two things that you must have completed is the personal strength and the learning activity. And so there's information in the discussion board about what you were expected to do in the discussion board, and that was posting like a reflection on, what was your greatest, what in one sentence, what was your strength, that you just, what is one strength from the OAD, and then how do you intend to leverage it, and then read the comments from the other people in your team and give them some feedback, and do the same thing with learning. What did I learn from this unit, and what do I plan to do next? And then, though this is not a must do, you want to then add your final reflections in the template. But those are the four must do's from the course introduction and the foundations unit. So let's look at how this will play out as the course continues. This chart depicts the course activities. The first column lists the units, and then the next set of columns lists individual accountability activities that are involved in the course. And you'll see the IRAT, the performance assessment task related to personal learning and strengths, and the performance assessment task related to efficiency and effectiveness, and then the scavenger hunt activity. So you kind of see that the other thing you want to observe here is that the highlighted areas are things that you absolutely must do in order to move on and to complete the course. So if you look under the individual accountability, you'll see the scavenger hunt. Now, it was my expectation that you complete the IRAT related to the syllabus, because that'll help you understand the syllabus, but I wasn't requiring you to do that here. Again, in foundations, the IRAT, I was my expectation that you completed it. It's not going to be the end of the world if you did not. Um, and I did open that back up for those of you who want to do it, because it's a good thing to do to strengthen your learning. But then as we go into the student learning unit, you'll see, it is my expectation that now you figured it out, and you're going to complete the IRAT for student learning, faculty development, and program effectiveness. Now let's look at the collaborative activities, and that's all the TRAT and the team problem solving and reflecting and providing feedback related to your strength and what you're learning. And so you'll see it was my expectation that this yellow box under course introduction has to do with introducing yourself to your team. And under foundations, it has to do with the OAD and your learning. Actually, I have this team problem solving box checked, but it wasn't my expectation that you do that. Um, it wasn't a requirement. It was something that I expected you to do, but you weren't required to do that. As we move into student learning, you'll see that all of the team activities are expected that you participate. So I'll look for your contributions to your team related to the TRAT and to the team problem solving, and your reflections on your strengths in learning and in the rest of the units. And then remember, there is a course extension week for you to, and that's basically for you to wrap up your work on the performance assessment tasks. And just one quick note about the team-based learning. I chose this teaching approach for several reasons. First and foremost, team-based learning results in deeper learning and the ability to apply the content. And this content will really help you in your work as a program manager to look at ways to improve program efficiency and effectiveness, especially related to student learning and faculty development. Some added value to this teaching approach is that it allows you to create I think, deeper connections to some of the people in your class as you work in teams. And that was based on feedback from previous classes, wanting that networking and liking that ability to connect with others across the education system. And the team-based learning approach does assist in development of team collaboration skills. All right, we go onward to student learning. That's our second unit. Like I said, it starts on April 8th. I will have the course open on April 1st for anyone who wants to get an early start. And I'll provide maybe some helpful ways to approach and what to schedule as you move forward to kind of help you get kind of what those timelines are and get them into your life. So it's been really exciting to work with you and to see such wonderful activity and contributions to the course, and real eagerness to do a great job for your college and for the students and for your profession. So it's just really been an honor for me to work with you, and I look forward to the next couple months. Thanks.